Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 606, mental versus physical work and trust. And just want to thank everybody once again that attended the workshop recently. Once again, those were for families that had multiple family members in the room. People traveled from Texas, quite a few, maybe almost a third of the room was from Texas and Sunbelt for sure, New York, New Jersey. And so definitely appreciate everybody for attending the workshop, getting the valuable jewels out. And now it's time to put the information to work. So that's why we're doing this episode today, episode 606, mental versus physical work and trust, because this is one of those conversations that we have to have with trustees when they say, "Oh man, I just want to learn trustee training." So we get this conversation that comes to us all the time. "Oh, I want to be trained in trusteeship. I want to be trained in trusteeship." First of all, that's going to cost you, ladies and gentlemen. So where is this whole we should be giving free information for trusteeship? If it's private trusteeship, it's not free information. Let's make that very clear. And so we run into people that think, oh, because I come from a poverty mindset, I'm supposed to get something for nothing. Well, if it's private, it's supposed to be private. It is private. That means it's going to cost. So we sit around, you know, wealthy families and they understand that. They pay to go to conferences. So then there's other people, they reach out to the vault and they'll say, oh, I want to learn trustee training, but I'm trying to get it on a shoestring budget. Then you're not ready. And you got to go to work. You got to go to physical work so you can get the capital. People with a poverty mindset will say, oh, well, there's no such thing as money. I don't know if I need the money. And money's not real. First of all, money's a medium of exchange. It's a medium of exchange, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about the mental element of it, because this is something that really perplexes a lot of people. We actually had a trustee walk up to us at the workshop and say, Trust Christian, I actually hated you when I first met you. First time I went and connected with you. And it's like, wow, how could you say such a thing? And we just sat there and just listened to them because they had the nerve to come up and say that. But for some odd reason, they understand that the truth prevails. And so they had to get over their emotional feelings about the way Trust Christian was conveying the information and the way Trust Christian is trained to do the things that we're trained to do. It's a training, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a job. It's not a you're saying you're looking to take over your family estate. How are you going to take over your family estate from an illogical position, which is an emotional position? You have to take over the family estate from a logical position, from a practical standpoint. These are mental powers that we have to exercise. You have an emotional side, you have a logical side. How you gonna run the trustee? How is the trustee gonna run the estate properly if they're operating in their emotions predominantly? Oh, I don't feel good today, so I'm not gonna show up for the meeting. These are the ones that you could tell that are serious and not serious. Oh man, I was supposed to go to that event, but I didn't go because I started counting my risk. The risk is that I could not have money at one point in time. That's an emotional decision. Because if you truly had the money, you're going to find the money to do everything else. That's a mental hurdle that people have to overcome. But it's challenging for them to overcome that hurdle. Why? Because of their programming. That's why it's mental. What are you programming yourself? Are you programming yourself for success, or are you programming yourself for possible failure? That's a key and critical one. Are you programming yourself for success, or are you programming yourself for potential failure? It's a possibility we could fail Trust Christian in the vault. It's a possibility. And most of the time, people fail. Because they're giving failure an option. The mental work. Oh man, well, how do I program myself? Ladies and gentlemen, if you only knew the statistics on how much people are on social media every single day, you having social media on your cell phone. Trust Christian does not have that stuff on his cell phone. That's the bottom line. That's a harsh reality. Trust Christian does not have those things on the phone because they are considered to be distractions. The mentor said, Trust Christian, you want to be a millionaire, you got to get rid of social media. We looked at him and said, well, okay, it's not a big deal. We didn't really have too much going on with it other than it's really just to keep you in contact with people that you don't talk to on a frequent basis. It keeps you looking at other people's successes or their lifestyle or distractions or this demure stuff or all this other stuff that's going on the internet. What does that have to do with you protecting your family estate? Then are you programmed for success or are you programmed for failure? Oh, well, Trust Christian, I'm looking at this stuff on the internet. I don't really know if, money is real. What do you mean? You using it. That's about as real as it gets. Can you see your heart? No, but you got one. Can you see your lungs? No, but you got one. Can you see, how do you really know that your small intestines are separated from your little intestines? But you got them. See, it's a mental hurdle that people got to overcome. You don't want to hear that it has to do with something with people's IQ. We don't want to hear that. But if we talking mental or we talking logical, we talking emotional, it's easy to be in your feelings and be illogical. Somebody gonna tell Trust Christian, I didn't really like you. We didn't like a lot of people, but we still do business with them. You see how that sounds? Because you got to feed your family. You got to make logical decisions, not emotional decisions. But how many people making emotional decisions out here? You gotta ask yourself that. When I'm in the middle of a decision, am I making an emotional decision or a logical decision? Am I staying in the learning mode? Am I staying in the student mentality mode? Or am I going off my past programming? The mental work. Oh, Trust Christian Vote, they got these personal development books over the internet. People talk about this personal development stuff. So, how do you quantify that you've grown as a person? Is that through the bank account? Is that through the reflection of the outside of what has been manifested? I don't want a job, Trust Christian in the Vault. So what are you feeding yourself to get off the job? You got to feed your mind so it can make your body do what it needs to do unconsciously to get the job done. You might have to tell your mind, that might have to tell your body, we got to stay up a little bit longer today. We got to get up a little bit earlier today. That's what your mind tells your body. From our observation, you can see that there's the 80-20 rule. 80% of the people not going to make it. They going to die. They going to die broke. They going to die without a legacy. They going to die without passing along assets. We got trustees going through the training program right now. They over here, they got assets that they got commingled with other family members, causing them all type of just mental annoyance, emotional disturbances, and they're thinking about things logically. But then you got people that they're connected with, and they thinking about things emotionally, wanting to play mental and emotional games with them. Family members, ladies and gentlemen, what you call a family member. How do you handle your family member fighting over an asset? Do you got a plan in place? What is your plan? Once again, the mental element. What am I willing to overcome? Am I resilient? Let's see what resilient means on the Webster's Dictionary so people can understand what you have to be in order to be successful. A lot of people don't know that they got to be resilient. They think that they can just, oh man, it's tough right now. I gotta go ahead and fall back. I gotta fall back. I say I'm trying to do something for my family and state. You don't even know how disappointing it is to hear people come on the line and say, I'm trying to help out my family. I'm trying to help out my race, and they don't show up. They make an excuse. It's annoying. It's disheartening. It's disappointing to hear people say, I listen to the podcast, but I'm not going to step up to the plate no matter how hard it is. Resilience, the capable of withstanding a shock, just like one of those trustees did. It shows you how resilient he is. I'm not going to point out that it was a he or a she, but it was a he, is what it came out already. Capable of withstanding a shock. Man, Trust Christian, you annoyed me. I hated you. Capable of withstanding a shock without permanent disformation or rupture. Tending to recover or adjust easily to misfortune or change. These are the definitions from the Webster's Dictionary on resilience. Are you resilient? Do you tend to recover or adjust easily from misfortune or change? Sometimes you got to change. Are you resilient? Oh man, Trust Christian in the vault. Sometimes you got to go through hard times. Sometimes you got to lay down. No, that's for the weak. Poor people can't help out poor people. We've been saying this for years. But then you hear people say, oh, I'm looking to do generational wealth. They gave their money to these goofballs over the internet. Oh, man, I gave my money to some guys. They got me in the public trust. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm in the public foundation. I still don't know what I'm doing. You still don't know what you're doing, but you're not investing in your private education. You think it's going to be cheaper? Look, ladies and gentlemen, the average conference that Trust Christian goes to with the vault is over $2,000 a ticket. It's over $2,000 a ticket. What, you flying second class? You got a little $300 ticket round trip? Y'all know inflation. Y'all think they're going to stay the same price all the time? Oh, man, in 5, 10 years, I'm traveling for my wealth, so I'm going to be spending $200, $300, $400 on a ticket. Yeah, right. So, the mental overcoming. Are you an overcomer? Resilient? Do you have a student mentality? Are you checking your student mentality every day? What are you studying? You studying the free information on the internet? Oh, Trust Christian Vault. I'm over here reading the Wise, Concise Trust, Express Trust, in the Common Law. I'm over here reading, the redemption package. Y'all know what I mean? People we got reach out to us all the time that say they out here doing some redemption package. I need to redeem myself from the government system. You still got people mentally enslaved talking about they got a government name. How is it the government's name? That's how you know they mentally trapped. That's how you know they a slave. That's a fact. Hard reality. Whole slave race. Oh man, the government name. The government name. Y'all don't even know that's what people say when they reach out to the vault. I got a government name. You sound like a slave. So when you gonna get over that? Take control of the name. Not ownership, control of the name. If it's an estate, then you stand in the proper position in the place of the estate. Not being a slave. Talking about it's your government name. But it's emotional though. They want someone to blame. Man, let me blame my government. Or you sit in a room with Dr. Bay, going to sit here and say, oh man, don't blame this person, don't blame that person, don't blame this person. First of all, we got to hold people accountable in trusteeship. You got to hold people accountable. You got to hold your parents accountable. You got to hold your children accountable. You got to hold your peers accountable. You got to hold your co-workers accountable. You got to hold the people that work for you accountable. All of a sudden now we're not going to hold nobody accountable. We're not saying blame them, but we're saying holding them accountable to a standard. But it's too easy to say, oh, it's nobody's fault. Well, whose fault is it? Is it your fault? When you gonna take responsibility for the family estate? Stop making excuses. When you gonna take control of the family estate? Stop acting like a minor and act like a majority. It's so disheartening, so annoying to hear people say, I want to be a generational wealth builder and I want to help my family out, but they don't take the action. That's the physical work. Taking the action, being in trusteeship, paying to play. That's the problem. See, people want this free stuff out here because first of all, the internet ain't even free. You can get Wi-Fi for free. You gotta have a cell phone. I mean, it's so much stuff that you gotta do in order to be successful. There is a price. There's a price. There's a physical price. There's a mental price that you're gonna have to pay. You may have to read a few books. You may have to learn structure and organization. Church Christian Vote, I don't really know how to show up on time. This is literally the mindset of people. I don't show up on time. That's the CP time. All this stupid stuff. They're not showing up on time. They're not showing up for their families. They don't want to know, but they're a failure. If you fail to show up on time, it's a failure. Show up on time. It's a mental hurdle many people got to overcome because it's emotional. They think they could just show up late for things and think it's okay. Oh man, you gonna be okay with it. We were sitting on the line the other day with someone. They gonna sit here and say, "Won't you smile in the meeting?" For what? You were late. It's nothing funny. You over here asking for money. You asking to raise capital, but people don't want to show up on time. Then you already know you're gonna fail. What's the physical work? Showing up on time. Showing up to the workshops, networking with other people. It's interesting because we thought about that today, actually, in the AM. We thought about how failures like to hang out with failures, and you would think people in trust like to deal with people in trust, but how many people really reached out to the vault and said, "Hey, Trust Christian Vault, what are your thoughts on this person? What do you know about this contact?" It's so easy to network with other failures because they present no value. So, what is the point of networking with people that you don't know who they are and what they're about, other than the fact that they showed up to the party? Let me network. And network about what? Do you run a business? Have you ran a successful business? They don't. They didn't. But they want to keep in contact with you. For what? To have your phone number, to do some intellectual masturbation, some emotional masturbation. Hey, did you find another source outside of Trust Christian and Vault that we could go to? Because you know the price that we got, did you get that price? Y'all think people don't talk like that? What price did you get? Because this the price we was looking at, and we ain't really got it right now. We don't got it all the way. That's how the failures talk. We got trustees don't even want to be in the same room with people like that. Straight up. We got trustees that have multi-million-dollar businesses. They don't want to be in a room with people that they haven't vetted themselves or that Trust Christian hasn't vetted for them. They'll say they told us that. They don't want to waste their time and be around people that are just trying to get in trusteeship. You think you're doing something right by connecting with someone that doesn't have the capacity to get the job done? Failures like to hang out with failures. People in trust that are successful like to associate with people in trust that are successful. People that have foundations should be predominantly focused on associating with foundations. You know what I mean? Trustees have reached out and said, hey, I'm looking to find out what additional events I can get to this year before the end of the year so we can raise some money in the foundation. Did they do that yet? Some. See, people just want a class. They want to learn some information for the low low, as the young kids say. The low low. The cheap ski. The free ski. But in all actuality, it's going to take people stepping up to the plate, putting their money where their mouth is. We got conferences that we know, man, the conference costs $3,000. Ain't no way you can say, Judge Christian vote, that costs more than somebody's rent. That costs what somebody's mortgage might cost. Yep. See how wealthy people don't want you around? See how the right people don't want you around? They don't want you around. They don't want to be bothered. You don't want to wear a business suit? They don't want to be bothered. You don't want to wear a business suit. Nah, I don't want to wear a business suit, Trust Christian Vault, but I'm raising money for my trust. I'm raising money for the foundation. So I don't want to wear a business suit. I haven't studied what the proper business colors are. You haven't studied what the proper business colors are, huh? You don't know what a business outfit looks like, huh? Because you're not in business. You're just playing with it. Trust Christian Vote, I got a hard time keeping up with the minutes every single week. They got all these little silly AI tools. They got on the cell phone, they got this thing called Siri. On the cell phone, they got this thing Google. Y'all could literally speak into the phone and create a minute. That's how lazy people are. That's how inept people are. That's how incompetent people are. More lazy. Speak the minute into the phone, record the minute, tell the AI the format that you want it to be put in, name, date, reason for meeting, what we resolved during the meeting, and putting a signature line at the bottom with the signatures of the people that's speaking in the meeting. It's simple as that. That's a start. It's too easy to fail, though. It's too easy to be average. It's too easy to be mediocre. Instead of stepping up to the plate, making it a point to say, I got to do whatever it takes to make sure our family is in a position to win and not lose anything. How do you reprogram yourself? You got to take in the right content. Instead of sitting on the internet listening to these fugazis over the internet, you know, oh man, we had people coming to us for years talking about this whole trust stuff. Okay, so once you know the truth, what you gonna do about it? You gonna just go back to working a job, huh? Sure you want to get home and binge out on Netflix, huh? Or you gonna step up to the plate and say, you know what? I'm not gonna talk. I'm gonna do. Even if you knew that there was a liability that you could deduct, think about how many are willing to deduct that liability. Pay to play to deduct that liability. Are you willing to pay to play to deduct that liability? Or is it one of those things, man? Oh man, trust Christian Vault. I'm just going, you know, I gotta. What they say? I gotta talk to my wife. Something that's gonna benefit your family. You gotta talk to your wife, and don't get it twisted. We have women that are married that come to the calls, that come to trustee training, and their husband is not on the phone. This shows you where the family structure is in the United States, where you don't have families come on the line together. This is a harsh reality. Oh man, we gotta make time together. What's the mental work? I got to keep my word. Trust Christian Vote. I got to keep my word. What else do you got? You're an energetic being. You speak things into existence. How are you not going to keep your word? But it's too easy to lie to yourself. It's too easy to tell yourself, man, I was going to do it, but I didn't do it. Right. That's it. You hear how it sounds? I was going to do it, but I didn't do it. That's how it sounds to yourself. And they just keep pushing it down the road. The physical work is writing your goals on paper and reading them to yourself every single day. How hard is that? It is so hard because they don't do it. It's that hard. Did they write their goals out? On paper, did they clarify their goals? What's the mandate for the trust? What are we supposed to be doing as trustees? Are we creating a plan for the successors? It's too easy to fail. What's the point of succeeding? Most people around don't even have $500,000 saved up, let alone $1 million saved up. Trustees sitting over here wondering, should they still get rid of the 401ks and these government sponsored programs when we just sat in a room with somebody that just told you they on their fourth plane or their third plane, and they told you that they would tell you to fire them if it doesn't work within the first year. But people literally came up at the end of the workshop, man, I wonder how we going to convert it. Instead of just saying, you know what, I got to take action, I got to set up the appointment, and I got to make a plan, and I got to figure it out. It's too easy to fail. It's so easy to fail. Because there's no one to blame when you fail. No one's to blame, but when you're successful, there's no one to blame when you're successful. The physical work, setting up the time every single week, setting up the time to study every single day. That was another thing we was thinking about over the past few days. Is one of the mentors said, calculate how much time you study every single day. That was a big one recently because we definitely study every single day. We do our best to take account for that. But then you think about it, you only got a certain amount of hours that you're up every single day. If you don't really have 24 hours in a day. You'll have about 16 because you sleep in 8 of them. So how do you calculate that? Do you calculate it? What gets measured gets accomplished. How many people set up an appointment right after the workshop? Or they just, oh man, I got the information. I'm going to wing it. I'm going to figure it out. That's what they doing. They winging it. Most of them don't figure it out. It's a continuing education program. We have trustees show up that have showed up to over 5 workshops, that have showed up to over 4 workshops, that have showed up over 3 workshops. Easy. And it is our first one this year. We did one last year, maybe even 2 last year, and the year before that we did a few. 2 workshops. 2020, before that we were doing 3 to 4 workshops a year. And right now, even people ask, when are you doing the next workshop, Trust Christian in the Vault? You got to understand it's time to move on. It's just time to move on. It's time to evolve the program. It's time to do something new. When are you going to be the best trustee you could be? The best trustee means you evolve. The best trustee means you move on. That's the reality. The physical work, you dress the part when you're doing business. The physical work, you do the minutes. The physical work, you study. You put your ears to the study and the information. People say, oh man, I just want access to the training library, Trust Christian Revolt. That's something we give trustees. They enroll, they get access to the training library. Feel free to reach out and get access to the training library. It's not free, but you get access to the training library. But are you just going to focus on studying, or you going to focus actually putting the information into practice? Doing the work. Becoming a proper fiduciary. Understanding how to sign your name properly as a trustee. We were talking to Dr. Bay about this because of the way he thinks about things, and he was talking about some stuff, and we said, look, most people need to get their mental together. They can't digest wealth information if you're doing poverty things. You eating poverty foods. You associating with other people that are in poverty. Simple as that. That's a harsh reality for some people. What you mean I can't associate with these people? They my friends, they my relatives. Birds of a feather flock together. The 5 closest people you associate with, that's going to be the average of you. There's no way it could be true. Just take an assessment. The 5 people that you associate with on a regular basis are who you are. Some way, directly or indirectly. How much money do they make a year? Do y'all talk about books? Do y'all talk about the word, the spiritual practices that you practicing? Do y'all talk about your health? Or are you talking about sports? You talking about celebrities? You talking about the fake news? This is the things that people talk about. You talking about the so-called weather, the controlled weather. Oh man, the weather's being controlled, man. Like that's going to change your life. Talking about nonsense. Oh man, I got to redeem myself from the redemption package from the government name. Oh man, I'm a Moor, man. I got to figure out how to claim my name. I got to claim my estate. Yeah. Did you get any capital for that? Did you exchange any service? You get paid when you create or exchange a product or service. How do you think you should just be paid because you were born? That's welfare mentality. Well, I was born, so that means I'm supposed to get some money from the government, from the social system, because you want to be a socialist. The Marxist mentality. People don't even know who this garbage is. This Orwellian mentality. That's all it is. Are you associating with people that promote your dreams, promote your goals? Are you around people that promote you failing towards your goals and dreams, taking risk? You got to take some risk, physically and mentally. Are you around people that when you come back, they help you lick your chops, or they say, "Nah, no worries, you got this. Do it again. Look for another way to do it. Find another way to do it." Or do you got people trying to tell you, "Hey man, you knew that wasn't gonna work anyways. I kind of could have told you it wasn't gonna work, so you might as well just, go do something else." Right? Instead of people promoting your greatness, promoting your success. Do you live in an environment like that? Are you communicating with people like that? Oh man, Trust Christian Vote, everybody don't really support your goals and dreams. That's the point. You got to associate with the ones that do and leave everybody else to the fire. It is what it is. My own family don't support my goals and dreams, Trust Christian Vote. That's the point. Now you know who's for you and who's against you. That's a harsh reality for some people. Because it's going to weigh on them emotionally, which is a mental thing. Oh man, I thought my family was going to support me. It's hard, man. They condemning me and telling me I'm not a great family member because I don't come to birthday parties anymore. Because, I got to focus on making sure my family ain't in poverty and destitute if something happened to me. Right. That's all it is. Making those hard decisions, making those decisions to do the physical work. When are you going to do the physical work? Surrounding yourself around people that are where you want to be in life. Assessing those things. It was interesting. We were sitting out last night and we were talking to a trustee and talked to the trustee. Trustee said, we were telling the trustee, we said, we outgrew mentors before. Some people say, man, that's a trustee said, that's a compliment to you. You know how that feels when you outgrow a mentor? When you looked at this person as not an idol, but you looked at this person as, oh man, I appreciate this person. I admire this person. I thank them for doing the hard work so they can set the template, so they can set the example. And then you get to the point in your life where you say, man, they stuck. Where they at? And you now are at a place where you got to move on. There's no disagreement. There's no harsh reality. It's just time to move on. Because your goals and your dreams were bigger than that. They weren't stuck at just, oh, I'm just trying to be a millionaire. Huh? And they barely a millionaire, or they a millionaire. But they not a multimillionaire. So you might have to go get a multimillionaire mentor now. You might have to go, I want to be a billionaire, Christian. But do you got a billionaire mentor? Who's your billionaire mentor? Trust Christian Evolve has associated with billionaire mentors. We put our money where our mouth is. That's what you got to do. And for all y'all that would talk about, oh, I want to be a billionaire, I'm going to have $1 billion. If you're not associated with $1 billion income earner or $1 billion business earner, your chances are zero. First of all, billionaires are in the 0.0001 of the population. You don't even know how small it is to be a billionaire. But if you want to be a billionaire, you got to associate with these people. Well, Trust Christian Evolve, you think it's easy to get around him? Trust Christian found him. Huh. Trust Christian found him. The Vault, we found him. They said they report on the internet. They report on the Forbes. They billionaires, right? Right. Did you send them an email? We got one mentor. This man said he reached out to Mark Cuban 17 times before Mark Cuban answered. You guys don't want it. Because if you wanted it, you would look at that and say, dang, whatever I got to do, I got to reach out a minimum of 17 times. Bottom line. As soon as the mentor told us that, we was on it. It was no questions asked. You want to be a billionaire? You wanted to associate with a billionaire? You got to reach out 17 times minimum. Trust Christian Evolve. Bottom line, period. Cool. No questions asked. I'm sorry people are lazy. They don't want it. They want it to be TV. They want it to be microwave. They want it to be easy. 17 times. 17 emails, no reply. You getting disheartened. You getting discouraged. Dag, man. When's Mark going to reply? Does he ever reply? 17 emails. Do I say the same thing every time, Trust Christian Evolve? Do I change it up? We get crafty. We get crafty over here, baby. But oh, no. Oh, man. Who is this person? He's a billionaire. He didn't respond to me on the first time, or the second time, or the 5th time, or the 10th time. Who is this guy? And then when they reply on the 17th time, the ones that wanted to win, they got it on the 17th time. And where everybody else, they quit. They quit. Man, I didn't want to be told. I didn't know if he was going to reply, so I just stopped doing the work. It's too easy to quit. What's the benefit of working when you can quit? Might as well just quit. Man, Trust Christian Evolve, he told us that price. Man, I remember first one in the trusteeship. Okay, bam. We knocked out trusteeship on our own. But then it came to foundation trusteeship. Said, oh man, this is a little feat right here. We got to get our chips together. Okay, cool. We walked in with a partner at that point. We said, okay, your family and our family needs it, so let's work together. Let's get in foundation trusteeship. We figured it out. We got in the foundation trusteeship, and we did that with another family. Oh no, Trust Christian Evolve, what it is? You want to know? When you think of Trust Christian, think of this one word in the vault: resourceful. Resourceful. What brand does your family stand for? Are y'all resourceful? Or is it, oh man, when we hit hard times, we quit? Trust Christian Evolve told us this price. Man, I'm supposed to have all of these other people that I associate with, and we over here reading the law together in our free time, but we not going to come together and put our money together so we can actually be in trusteeship. How about that? People in trust work with people in trust. So if you associate with people and they supposedly in trusteeship and you listening to the vault, are they listening to the vault? Are y'all getting in trusteeship together? Or you the one that's going to be in trusteeship after you finally pay up to play up and get in trustee training with the vault, and they still going to be outside, and you got to now communicate to them and share with them the private information that they didn't want to pay for because they want to not do it. It's that simple. It's the mental and the physical work. Are you going to continue your education? Oh man, I went to one of those workshops before. I don't know if I need to keep going to them. Trust Christian Vault. We go to trust. We go to workshops all the time. It's just too easy to fail, ladies and gentlemen. That's all it is. Too easy to be a failure. That's the unfortunate part. It's too easy not to do the work. I got a public school education, Trust Christian Vault. You know how hard it is to get the private information? I've been searching my whole life trying to get that. I knew something wasn't right with the system. Yeah, it's something. Now, it ain't nothing wrong with the system. What's wrong is your thinking. What's wrong is your thinking. And once you program yourself for success, program yourself for private trusteeship, here you go. You want to know how easy it is once you get the program right? It's like when you hear the line, oh man, they was a millionaire or a billionaire. They fell off, but guess what? They made it back shorter than what it took them to make it the first time. Exactly. Because it was they had their mindset right. They were prepared to do the physical work because they're programmed to do the physical work properly. Simple as that. They were programmed to do the work physically. A lot of people not. So we appreciate you all for reaching out, being resourceful, being resilient. Appreciate the people that came to the workshop. We look forward to doing another one. It's just, ladies and gentlemen, it's just one of those things right now where even the next date that we have for the next workshop, it will be less than 60 days, and we got to recalibrate that as we go into the fourth quarter. There's just so much going on in people's lives that we don't even put those challenges on people. Yeah, y'all don't even want to know. The best time to even do the next workshop is next year in February. Why? Because this is what poor people and broke people say. I got Thanksgiving coming up, Trust Christian. I got Christmas coming up. I got to save my money for those holidays. I got to pay for tickets. I got to pay for meals. And I got to pay for gifts. So guess what? When is the next best time to do it? When's the next best time to do a workshop? Well, $200-300. I need that for Christmas gifts this year. The economy ain't that great. When we already let y'all know that the workshops that we attend cost $2,000, $300. That's not for the audience. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. So we got to really look at the next workshop to give people the proper amount of time. We were thinking in October. It's so short notice. People's feelings are, I mean, I don't know if I can make that. That's a short time right there. That's a short moment. I don't know if I can afford that. I got a job. How am I going to take the time off? It's a 3-day thing. Ladies and gentlemen, what was so beautiful was to see trustees. Always a beautiful thing to see trustees literally fly out the day of the event. Some people might look at that some type of way, but it's always beautiful because we listen to the audience. We do surveys. We do it from 9 to 5 so trustees can get on flights that the airport is less than 30 minutes away. They can get to the airport and get back to their families all within the next day. That's how focused we are on making sure that we accommodate for trustees. We got workshops that we go to as trustees, Trust Christian Vote. They in the middle of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those mentors don't care. They doing that to eliminate people that are in a job mentality. You got to take off 4 days from work. I got to use my vacation days. I got to use my sick days. How you not going to use a sick day when you looking to be wealthy? You should be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You should be sick of being broke. You should be sick of being poverty. You should be sick of working a job. I'm so sick, doctor. I'm so sick, boss. I can't come today. I got to go to a wealth conference. I'm so sick of working this job today. I got to go to a wealth conference for the next 3 days. Exactly. But where's the mindset at? It's too easy to be broke. That's the crazy part. How easy it is to just live that lifestyle. If you hanging out with people that are living paycheck to paycheck, you are probably going to live that lifestyle. Hard thing to hear, reality to state. You got to get over it. Oh man, if you hanging out with people that got a bunch of student loans, waiting for the government to forgive them on student loans, they done made school a joke nowadays. How the government forgiving people for a student loan? You got to think about that. If it was worthwhile, why would the government give people a forgiveness for the student loan? It's supposed to be valuable. Pay it off. I got credit card debt. Yeah, because you hanging out with people that got credit cards and they don't know how to use them properly. Simple as that. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. Always appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, the email for Trustee Training consultation, Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Appreciate everybody once again that listen to this live, listen, replay, came to the workshop, and continuously listening. Peace.